رمضان ده حياتي حلى أوقاتي يا رب صلاتي تقبلها عطول ما أحلى حجابي جمل أوقاتي وزي صحباتي عايزين عطول رمضان ده حياتي.
It's an occasion we have been doing for the past 25 years. And God being so good, this time around we are in this community. We started from this community, Accra, Newtown, Nima, Maamobi. And for that matter, I found it as a very, let me say, great honor to be among you people to deliver our message, which is the annual Mujahid Ramadan Lecture. The Mujahid Ramadan Lecture, this time around, we are doing it in 4 different regions. We were in Koforidua yesterday. Next week we'll be in Tamale. We'll be going to Kumasi KNUST campus on the last week of the series of programs. So, inshallah, I hope you're going to give our speaker, who is a very, good speaker, and then a member of GAMP, the audience. And inshallah, I pray that the speaker will be able to deliver as expected.
I pray for Allah that if I say anything here that you feel was uncomfortable for you, forgive me for doing so. The theme itself permits me to be honest and sincere. And so I know sincerity and honesty is usually uncomfortable in the short term, but in the long term, it's actually something that will benefit you a lot. So may Allah guide me to say the things that I have to say in the name of Allah, and may you accept it in the name of Allah. So the theme is the primacy of the twin value of sincerity and honesty in the life and the work of a Muslim. So what is primacy? It means most important. That's it. What is the most important? So we are talking about what is the primacy of these two twins. And when we say twin, I'm sure most of you know what twin is. A pair. Something that works together. I will leave the key words and move to the last 2 things. Life and works. I'm usually a bit uncomfortable when we separate work from life. It's a bit uncomfortable for me because work is life. Life is work. And so when we separate the two, it sometimes sends some psychological difference for us to live 2 different lives. So you're a different person at work, and you're a different person at home. Now that is a problem, because who you are should be the same person everywhere. Because whatever you are, and if you pay attention to his introduction, the very first 3 or 4 paragraphs has nothing to do with what I am. He didn't speak about my school, my job. He spoke about my person, who I am, what I do. I'm a brother, I'm a friend, I'm a community person, I'm a member of this. Because that is the most important thing. That's the reason why you're even gaining all this knowledge and skills for, to impact on humanity. So if you have all those and you don't impact, then that is where you separate work from life. And that's the problem we usually get. So you go high up everywhere and you forget that you have a life to live. So let's go into the 2 words. What is life? Life is simply an existence of a human being. That you exist. That is life. Work is you having a task or something to do. In the definition of work, there is nothing about whether it brings money or doesn't bring money. No. Everything that you do with the purpose of achieving impact on humanity is work. For some people, their work is in their home. For other people, their work is outside the home. It's all work. and we must put some importance to each and every one of what we do. What is honesty? Honesty basically means a person who tells the truth and does not lie. Most people who are honest are described as trustworthy, straightforward, and they are usually also termed as people who are truthful. The Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 42, tells us, do not mix the truth with lies or hide the truth knowingly. The key word there is hide the truth knowingly. Being honest does not necessarily mean what you are saying may be the real truth, but to you, at the point that you're speaking, that is what you know. What you know about whatever you are being asked to do, and you say what you know, means you are being honest. One of the most honest responses that I wish that we could use as young people, as old people, as Muslims, is the phrase, I don't know. It's the most difficult thing for people to do. Even when they really don't know, they have to find something to say. Today when I was coming here, I was actually looking for the direction. I asked a couple of people if they know the place. I actually got to this junction and I asked the question. They pointed me down there. They sent me far away from here. Only for somebody to tell me, no, come back. It is down here. So the person may not intend to be dishonest, but that was dishonest. If you don't know, the power of I don't know is such a way that the moment you acknowledge you don't know, it opens up a huge opportunity for you to know. Because then everybody's looking at, okay, how do I know? Or you yourself will like, I didn't even think about this before. But once they've asked me, let me go and seek the knowledge. But if you're dishonest, then you move as if you know, and you forget to even go and search to equip yourself. So let's learn the power of I don't know. However, someone may be honest, but at the same time not be sincere. What exactly is sincere? Sincerity is actually what we say in Arabic, the niyyah, right? The intention. What is the intention? What is the motive? What is the reason behind the action you're taking? What is the reason behind the feeling you are expressing? What is the feeling, what's the intention behind what you are saying? Is it sincere? Are you speaking from a sincere point of view? People could come to you with an honesty, but the intention for which they're telling you the truth is probably to manipulate you to do something. But they're telling you the truth, but they're using that truth against you. What does the Quran tell us about sincerity? And they have been commanded no more than this, to worship Allah, offering Him sincere devotion, being true in faith, and establish regular prayers, and practice regular charity, and their religion in the straight path. Now, it is not a coincidence that before you even begin your salah, you have to say Bismillah to even start ablution. Because Allah wants you to begin that prayer in sincerity. He wants you to know that whatever you are going to do, if your heart is not pure, then what you are doing itself may not be received. The Prophet, may peace be upon him, said, verily, people will be raised for judgment only according to their intention. So, if you are doing charity, but your intention is not godly, then that charity is just a physical manifestation. There is no blessing to it. And we have a lot of charity that is here to manipulate either for a vote or either for something else. but the intention itself is not to help. So our intention is very, very important, and every act of worship will be judged by the intention. What is your intention for going to school? What is your intention for becoming a doctor? What is your intention for becoming an imam? An imam is a good thing, but what is your motive? Why do you want to become an imam? Intention is so key that the entire religion is actually based on intention. How do you become a Muslim? Recite Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, and mean it. Don't just say it. Mean it. So your intention may be personal. Your honesty may be personal, but it's not private. It is personal to you, but it's not private. Allah sees everything. He knows it even before you did it. So may Allah help us get to know. I will use, because you mentioned the legal counsel, one of the grievous crimes caused by humanity is what? Killing of another person, right? Okay. Killing is an act that is frowned upon by every other society. But there's a difference between murder and manslaughter. Both are killing, but there's a difference between you committing murder and you committed manslaughter. The difference is your intention. Killing is a deliberate, murder is a deliberate killing of someone, while manslaughter is unintentional. But both of them are killing. When we say killing, I'm sure the first thing that came to your mind, you use a knife, you use a gun, you hit somebody, like they say domestic violence is when a man beats a woman. No. One of the most dangerous weapons that we use easily, intentional or unintentional, is the power of words. It's the most dangerous weapon, more than knife, more than gun, and more than your physical hand. It kills people than you ever think. You may not be intentional, but the way you make somebody feel, they may commit suicide because of what you said. You have killed them. You didn't intend it, but you have done it. And sometimes it's intentional. Especially when you are angry and you want to say something to hurt someone. You only mean for hurt, but you don't control how deep it will go. So let us be careful of exactly the things we do. One of the examples of being honest is when you admit when you are wrong. Allah does not expect us to be perfect. He expects us to strive to be better. So do your best, and when you know better, do better. Honest person will say, you know what, I changed my mind. This may be a bit embarrassing, but I changed my mind. They are doing that because they respect themselves and they respect you, the person they told the information to. So you don't go and act on something that they realize they faulted. Apologize when you wrong someone is one of the most honest things to do. Don't wait for them to ask you for apology. An apology, my brothers and sisters, is in 3 stages. If you're an honest person, it's 3. The best apology is change of behavior. That's the best apology. Not to do it and say sorry, and repeat it and say sorry, you are not honest. And if you have to apologize, you have to state the reason why you are actually apologizing. Allah is a merciful God, but He's also a just God. That's what we forget. But we Muslims, we know. Even more than a lot of non-Muslims. But sometimes, I think because of the way life has become, we forget that Allah is a just God. When our great-grandparents, Adam and Hawa, committed the sin, Allah was merciful on them. And you know how he expressed his mercy? He gave them an appointed time. But justice prevailed. They had to lose their immortality. So he would be merciful. But once he says, when you do this, this will happen, that will happen. He may give you some time. So let's use the time wisely. So we earn Allah's reward, and all of us, I want to see you all in Jannah, inshallah. Apologize and learn to correct and change. It's not an easy process. That's why it's a process. But please be committed to it. An honest person will say when they've had their fair share, it's Ramadan, right? And I'm sure people will come and give us a lot of gifts when we are going to break our fast. They give us food and stuff. Oh, I am the head of this. I am the person that is receiving that. The 100 people, 100 things brought, but because I am this one, I'm taking 10. No. And I'll take it in the room, nobody will see. No. An honest person, you are even honest when nobody is watching you. Because if nobody here sees you, guess who is seeing you? Now, Allah is seeing you. So you must learn to be honest, even when you know nobody is watching. One of the other things that we are not honest with is when you have to speak up, even when you don't have to. Someone is doing something to you you don't like. Somebody is taking something, using something of yours you are not happy about. Of course, sometimes they say, try to be polite and all that. But you don't like it, and yet you're not saying it, you're not being honest. You must learn to be honest. Honesty is not comfortable. That is why you have to do it kindly. Trust me, if someone is honest to you, even at the point they are telling you, you may be angry with them. It's only a few moments later you say, but what he said was true. But at the time you are receiving it, it's not comfortable. But honesty is the best medicine we all need in our lives. Showing disappointment and emotions is one of the most important honesty and sincerity. Remember, sincerity is an intention. Honesty is what you say. Somebody may be telling you, I'm fine, but he's not fine. Our sisters are way better than us. They are better in being honest when it comes to emotions and disappointment. We, oh my goodness, we are not. My dear sisters, when you ask your brother, when you ask your dad, when you ask your husbands or your friends, and you can see they are not well, and they say, I am fine. Please don't take I am fine. Because sometimes what they are going through, one of the weaknesses of men is that if I say how I feel and how disappointed I am, I'll be seen as a weak person. I have to be strong. I have to show that I'm a man. Let me give you some statistics that should wake you up. 700,000 men commit suicide every year. 15,000 every month. 2,000 every day. 90 every hour. 1 every minute. Yes. 4 out of 5 people who commit suicide are men. Our sisters have mastered this. It looks like we still want to be in our ego of a man, even when the thing is hurting you. You don't want to say it. Yes, sometimes it's good to learn to control your emotions. But when it fills your heart, my dear brother, please find someone you trust and talk to. Share your emotions. Remember what I told you? We are not good with the power of words. Our sisters are better. When they say something that hurts you, please, if you can't say to her, find somebody you respect, an imam or something, voice out your emotions, or else it will kill you softly. Why do you think we have more widows than widowers? Please let's be honest and try and help each other. The world needs us. So let's make sure we take care of ourselves and make sure that we voice out our emotions and disappointments in a very nice way, in a very mature way. Like find somebody. Please speak. Speak. Returning something that does not belong to you is an act of honesty. It doesn't belong to you. Has anybody experienced you went to buy something at the store, at the shop, you gave the lady maybe 50 cedis, the thing is costing 30 cedis, and she ended up giving you 40 cedis change? No, I heard somebody laughing. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. Then you say, what? Take it back. I know you can identify with them. That's why I'm telling you those ones. When we were all young, maybe we did some of those. But that's one of the most dishonest things you can ever do. You go to the bank, the teller counts the money, gives it to you. You went into your car, you account, you notice, 1,000 cedis more. My dear, it's not luck. It's not for you. Walk back. An honest person will do the honest thing, even if he doesn't deserve it. You take it back. So return it. You want to borrow something from doctor. You don't borrow something from your friend. And you say you bring him back next week. Abba. It's almost 1 year now. Please take it back. Take it back. The honest person would not choose to cheat, even when they have the chance to cheat. My dear students, my favorite. She is writing in front of you, it's clear. You can see it. But my dear students, don't cheat. It's tempting. She's not the type that will do what our people use always to cover it. No. Please, one of the most dishonest things you can do to yourself is to cheat yourself. When you pass your exams and you know you wrote it, even if you didn't, trust me, the feeling that you get is different from when you know it's not for you. You know it's not for you. You are passed, but the pass is not yours. Karo pass, so please, do not cheat even when the opportunity is there. Allah says the life we are living here is a test. So it's not only your exams that is a test. Your entire life is a test. So the temptations will come. Don't think you are being faithful or honest to somebody else. Be faithful to yourself. Because if you are faithful to me, then when I'm not there, exactly. But when you are faithful and honest to yourself, then that becomes something that I don't even need to seek faithfulness from you. You are doing it because you yourself know that it is for you. And first, for Allah. So please, honest people, do not cheat. They will do the right thing no matter what. One of the things you do is, for those of us who drive, traffic lights. Hey. Interesting. Yes, there is nobody there. Nobody's crossing. It is night. It says red. It is red. Learn to stop before you cross. 2 weeks ago, one of my best friends was involved in an accident. The person was coming from the junction, just like this junction, joining the main one. And they were coming from the main road. The rules of driving says when you're coming from an inner lane, stop and check before you join. This military man did not. He just entered the road and they hit him. Just yesterday we heard he is gone. My brother was admitted, his mouth broken and everything, simply because you were not honest with the rules. 1 second of honesty. One thing I'll tell you is honesty is uncomfortable, but only in the short term. But in the long term, it is of benefit to you. It will save you a lot. Could you imagine if he was honest and waited just 1 second to watch? Right now, I'm not sure something of that nature may have happened. Allah is the one who knows best. But, so it's important for us. Please don't misrepresent yourself on social media. It's dishonest. Somebody would look for a private jet, do some Photoshop, carry some bags and stuff, and you put it there. Come on, what are you doing? You are being dishonest. So let's try not to be dishonest. What are the benefits of being honest? One of the things you will notice, even when people don't like you for being honest, when they need honest people in their personal lives, wallahi, they will look for you. Because they will see that this guy is real. This woman is real. She expresses her opinions the way she feels it, and she moves on like that. She will never change her mind. Or when she's sad, you know. When she's not sad, you know. When she doesn't like something, she will say it. People are looking for honest people. They just can't find them. Can you imagine if this country was honest? If we were very honest with ourselves, we would not be where we are now. When you're honest, somebody says you will sleep in peace. You know what that means? Your conscience will breathe, knowing that what you said is honest, it's true. A lot of the pressure we have is because we've said a lot of lies. Now we cannot rest. Because you are afraid when somebody asks you the same thing, the answer may not be the same because the time you said it, you have to record what you said so you can be consistent. But if you tell the truth, you don't need to carry it in your head anymore. Because anytime they say it, you are likely to say the same thing because you do not lie. But if you lie, you have to keep that story till you die. So your conscience itself will breathe. You will command integrity. Integrity is key. Integrity is key. When we were in secondary school, I was working with two of my colleagues. They were non-Muslims. While we were chatting on the road, and one of them just said, Wahjib, do you know that the Allah you worship is a demon? Then all of a sudden, the three of us just stopped, as if somebody asked us to stop. Then the other non-Muslim said, but why would you say that to him? Then he looked at me and said, after all, he's even not a proper Muslim. Then at that time, I decided to ask him, but why did you say that? If you were a proper Muslim, when I said your Allah is a demon, you would have been angry. Now, he is provoking something. He didn't say Allah is a demon because of sincerity. He had an agenda. He wants to see if I would be angry. So he said, I told you Muslims are very rowdy people. I told you they are this. Then I said, but if you are expressing your ignorance, you expect me to be angry at you. No, you are telling me to help you and teach you that my Allah is not demon. That's what you are saying. I shouldn't be angry at you. I don't know if you are getting the story. So you have to learn to be authentic. And when you know something, things don't get you annoyed. When you know what you know, even when somebody says something at you, you're not angry. You shouldn't be. And when you are honest, like I said, you expand your possibility of knowing. I don't know. It means I'm now going to learn it. I'll be forced to go and learn. You hear a lot of the things that they say I've gone here. Most of the trips I went, I had no hand in how I even arrived at those places. And I believe that when we express our religion, we express Islam in the way the foundation is honesty and sincerity, even the people who don't know Islam will be attracted to it. They will say, in fact, when somebody tells you, you don't look like a Muslim, do you know what sometimes they want to mean? You are too peaceful. And you don't even look like a Muslim. And I ask, how do Muslims look like? Because they expect you to behave in a certain way. Let us behave honestly and sincerely so they will define Islam or what Islam really is. May Allah help us to do so. How do you build honesty and sincerity? How do you build and sustain it? This is where I will beg my brothers and sisters, because I have to be honest with a lot of things. I was born in Nima, 441, actually, way back in the 80s. Now the road is called Kanda Highway, but at that time there was no Kanda Highway. Where I was born is there. I see it anytime I walk, I drive past the place. And my dear fathers, during those times we're growing up, you will see some of our fathers sitting there at what we call base, playing dummy or draft all day long. Then you find the mothers carrying the babies at the back, going to the market, fending, and coming home to be able to provide. Well, this is not how Allah wishes for it to be. And I'm going to start from the Quran, and I'll give you what a lot of the people who were even against Islam later discovered. Allah created just two genders from one complete gender, man and a woman. He didn't create us for rights, He created us for responsibilities. Because the concept of rights is saying that if you say you have a right, then you're saying it is my responsibility to give you your right. What is your responsibility towards me? So Allah created us for responsibility. The responsibility of the man is to provide and to protect his woman, his children, his household, his community, his country. What is the responsibility of the woman? What's the responsibility of the motherland? In fact, I'm yet to hear fatherland. I have not heard it anywhere. It is motherland that you hear. What's the responsibility of the mother? Is to be the homemaker, to nurture, to raise, to build, to help the man. That is your core responsibility. That is your primary responsibility. If we have to be sincere and honest. That's why I say, forgive me if I offend you, but I will be sincere because Allah asked me to be sincere. Now, there is a British novelist, it's a scholar, it's a broadcaster, called Clive Staples Lewis. He put it this way, and I'm going to put it in the same way he did. Quote, "The homemaker has the ultimate career. All other careers exist for one purpose only, and that is to support the ultimate career." I repeat, the homemaker has the ultimate career. All other careers exist for one purpose only, and that is to support the ultimate career. So what is the ultimate career? The homemaker. That role is so key. Please, Doctor and I sitting here with all the things you heard, I was made by my mother. Please, know this. With the support of my father. With the provision and the protection from my father. But who made me? Who built my honesty and sincerity? It is my mother. The homemaker is a profession. That's why when I started life and work, I said sometimes I'm uncomfortable when you separate the two. Because some people think work is only done when you're out there, you are wearing suit and tie, you're wearing this and that. That is when you're working. No. The work of Allah doesn't go that way. Who knows Bill Gates? Bill Gates. Okay, let me say, who doesn't know Bill Gates? Okay. What do you know Bill Gates for? Come again? Microsoft. That is what you heard Bill Gates about. But what you know Bill Gates for is his social responsibility. That's what you heard more of him. When he was doing the computer, most of us didn't even know computer. But when he started doing the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, he started doing it, then we know, okay, this is Bill Gates. Oh, what is he known for? He's the one that did the computer. But for you to get to know him, it was his act of humanity that led you to even know what he is. You knew who he is before you knew what he is. Who are you is to be honest and sincere. What you are may be a doctor. But if who you are is not well, then the kind of doctor you be, you can kill people. I don't know if you get it. The mother and the nurture is what builds the neck. The school only builds the head. If you don't build your neck, then your head will turn anywhere. My dear parents, let's learn to build our children's values, ethics, morality before we even start sending them to school. The brain of the child between 0 to 6 years forms about 95% between 0 to 6. So 0 to 6, 95% of the brain is formed. The rest of the 5% by 15 years, then the 100% is formed. What you put in there when it's being formed is the most crucial thing for the life of the child. It hardly will change. It's like when you're baking bread, yeah? When you get to the flour, the dough, you put the yeast, you put everything. You can shape it anyhow you want, right? Okay. The moment you put it in the oven and it comes out of the oven, there's nothing you can do. You can squeeze it, but you can't change the shape. My dear parents, I'm calling you to duty. 0 to 6 years is one of the most crucial times. Every value you put in there is what he becomes, even when he becomes a president. So pay attention at that time. My dear mothers and sisters, I'm spending more time here because that is the foundation of who the child will be. Whatever he will be, school will help him be what he will be. But even what he will be, the quality of what he will be depending on who he is. What is the difference between an internet fraudster? When it comes to knowledge, they are the same. They are very smart people, both of them. When it comes to confidence, they are the same. When it comes to intelligence, they are the same. The difference is their values. That's the only difference. One is using his intelligence, his competence, his intellect to steal, to rob. The other one is using the same thing to protect. That's the difference. That's the difference. The more schooled we are, the last corruption perception index that Ghana Statistical Service did for 2022, the result says, and I'm summarizing, the more educated we are, the more corrupt we become. Why? Are you listening to me? The more educated you are, the more corrupt you become. There must be something wrong somewhere. What is wrong is that the home is broken. In fact, we have houses, more houses now than homes. Yes, it's not that we don't have mother and father in the household, but it's not a home, it's a house of 2 people and children. We now have 2 income streams into the house, but we have no home. We have big buildings, but we can't even afford a sleep. Big bed, we can't even sleep. We buy all the television and the home theater, but it's the house that watches it. You don't even watch it. We don't have time. So please, my parents, you would need to understand that the upbringing is key. In 1855, Frederick Douglass is an abolitionist and a renowned speaker who fought against racial and slavery. When in his discussion with the white slave masters, he made a particular appeal and discovery to them. And this is what he said. It is easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men. It is easier to build strong children than it is to repair broken men. Now, this statement is so true and simple that we as a society will neglect the building. We facilitate the breaking, and then we run away from the time and attention to repair it. We neglect the moment we need to build a child. We ignore it. We neglect it. Then we facilitate them from breaking. Then when it is now time, they become a problem for us to fix. Then we run away from the time and attention to rebuild. Please, let's focus on upbringing. I'm spending time on this particular one because it is the most important part of building honesty, sincerity, and the values of our children. What they will become in the next 2,000, whatever years you're looking at, the generation we want, we must start now. For me and you, I'll get to us, who are already here. If the mistake has already been made, I'll show us how we can try to fix the mistake. But I want the parents now. You are going to be parents very soon. Your first 20 years in life, you will be taught, nurtured, and trained by your parents and other adults. Your first 20 years. You will be taught, trained by your parents and other adults. Your next 20 years, you'll be living your own life. You'll be training yourself. The next 20, you will be teaching, training, and nurturing other people, other children. You get the mathematics. That's just what it is. So, when I talk to you, I'm talking to you in the generation you find yourself. Because you will be parents. Don't think you'll be like this forever. It's not true. Now, let's look at the next institution that will help us to actually inculcate sincerity and honesty. A group of homes make up a community. Is that not true? Exactly. So, here again, the quality of the home makes the quality of the communities. The beautiful thing is that for us Muslims, we have an identifiable community anywhere you go. The Zongo is a community that when you go, they know it's an Islamic community. We need to make sure that Zongo is identified with honesty and sincerity. Let us not allow ourselves to be used for the benefit of others. Let's show them what Islam really is. Let's show them what Islam is. There's a lot of things happening now. Most of the development strategies you see are now targeting children. Do you notice? Everybody now is on children. Everybody is interested in children. To the extent that the immoralities they're trying to introduce, they're even putting it in the children's book. Because they understand the science of that 95% I told you about. They know it. Some of us are resistant to the change because we were brought up without that. So we know it's not a good thing. So the next generation, they want to build it in their brains already. No, that is the truth. But if we all know this as well, then we too must be prepared to make sure that it doesn't happen. Knowledge is power, right? But wisdom is bliss. So we need to acknowledge and make sure that we also strategize. The challenge I have with good people is interesting. You think goodness will happen by itself. Bad people sit down to strategize, to plan. But good people don't want to strategize. It's like, oh, Allah knows best. Don't worry, Allah will. No. You also have to strategize. My brothers and sisters, family planning is not only about birth control. People think family planning is, I'm spacing my children. I want to give birth to only one or two. So the moment I deliver, birth has been controlled. It was a lie. Birth control includes controlling the nurturing and the training of the child. In fact, the more crucial one is after the child comes from the stomach. So if you are planning your careers, plan for this. I'm going to give an example of one of the ladies I'm sure most of you are really looking up to, Michelle Obama. I watched a documentary quite recently. If you guys follow the story of Obama himself had tried to go to Congress several times. Michelle Obama, the wife, was the one that was helping. In fact, the interesting thing about that story is Obama, while he was in Harvard Law School, was doing an attachment or internship with a law firm. And someone was his mentor. Guess who was the mentor? Michelle Obama. She was already a lawyer at the time. She was his mentor. And it was only after he graduated before they got married. But here's the thing. When they got married and he was focusing on Congress, she said it herself when somebody asked her, is this relationship 50-50? They asked her, the relationship between you and Obama, is it a 50-50 relationship? He said, no, it can never be 50-50. He said, who lied to the young? He said, we lie to our young women every day. He said, we should tell them the truth. It's never 50. She said, I have to suspend my career at some point in time because of the home I want to build. Before his presidency, he had released 3 books. Dreams of My Father, Audacity of Hope. Most of the books he wrote. She has written none. Let me tell you what's happening now that he is not the president. He has not written anything. She has released 3 books. And he's always at the back of his staff when she's going to launch her books. Do you understand what I'm saying? He is not released. He's only supporting her now. Because she raised a home. She took care of the home. She learned to know how to manage where the career is key and where I can pick off. She was already a lawyer before him. So she could have said, hey, I want to move higher than you. But she knew that life is not about how far you go in career. It's how far you go with Allah's responsibility on you. The family. Madam Karima, the former chairman of the Kenyan Reassurance Company. She was the chairman. She's currently the founder of Anchor. It's a women empowerment group. Look, that woman is amazing. When she was empowering the young people, women, she was telling them about how to be a successful woman, career-wise. One of her introduction is on YouTube. I can share on the page and they'll share with you. One of her introduction to her women was that to consider yourself successful, you must first be successful at home. To consider yourself successful, you must first be successful at home. Because when you retire, you may not have a home to go back to. This is the woman that has seen it all. If you retire, the people you lorded over, the people you didn't have time for, the people you think they'll have time for you? No, they will not. The way we train and train our parents, how we treat our parents, that's the same way our children will come and train us. Let's be honest and sincere with ourselves and learn to train our children the way they should go. The community is good. Let me show you the education system of the Chinese people that have taken over the world today. China. You see, we Muslims have everything. The beautiful thing, when you read the Quran, we don't need anybody to tell us anything anymore. I'm telling you the truth. If we want to be honest, we have to go back. We are following the world and what it tells us, what we're supposed to be. The world now is telling us to be something, now we are saying that no, they're asking too much. But we are not strong enough to come back to the Quran. The exams of Allah is such a way that you can open the book anytime you are finding it difficult. It's an open book exams. Whenever you meet a challenge, Go and open the Quran. He didn't say don't open the book. It's not like your exams. He says when you have a challenge, go back to the book and find it. They have 7 stages for educating the society. The first stage is morality in their local language. Don't get me wrong. The second stage is talent. The third stage is enrollment. So watch carefully. Between the 0 to 6 years, you have not been enrolled yet. You are now being taught morality. Your talent is being discovered between that time at home. Your child has up to the age 4 to learn how to socialize. And I'm telling you, don't underrate the brain of a child. Don't make a mistake. If you avoid them from that opportunity to learn, you have punished the child for life. Children learn to socialize and learn to absorb more when they are young. The science says they can learn up to 8 languages before the age of 8. 8 languages. The fourth stage is quality. So first, they take care of your morality, they take care of your talent, then they enroll you into school, all this in the local language, not in anybody's language. Then they check the quality of the enrollment. Gone are the days when you see your mother go to PTA or your dad go to PTA. Now I don't know, do they have time to go anymore? Do they even check what is in your curricula? Because they are paying the school fees, but they are not checking what the school is putting in your head. Look, gone are the days when anybody meets a Muslim person, woman, oh my goodness, they are so happy to see how you're dressed modestly, how you're looking, and they will tell you, Charlie, one of the things I like about your people, Charlie, they are very neat, they are very decent. Oh yeah, they'll tell you, and they're not dishonest about it. But now, when we're either getting schooled, we are losing that. Let's be sincere. Let's not change. I think there was, is it Miss Malaika, just recently? Oh, that was beautiful. Most ladies, Muslims go there, they don't cover. Then there was one lady, this year or so, who covered her hair and still went for the program. One lady. The panelists themselves watched this lady with an arm. They actually praised her for her confidence to come and show who she didn't lie. She was honest. That I'm a Muslim. Guess what is happening now? All the Muslim ladies that go now, they cover with hijab. There's nothing wrong with showing your identity. That's who you are. People will like you for that. Don't be betraying yourself and deceive yourself that for me to be accepted in this area, I must hide my Islamiyah. I must hide my religion. Or else, my religion is not swag. What is swag? Please, put your hijab. Hijab is swag now. You know that now? Please tell me. Now your non-Muslim people are asking you to buy your abaya, don't they? They don't wear. So now initially it was difficult to find a Muslim in the Jalabia. Now it's going to the women too now. They all buy abaya. Some of them have been buying your hijab. So please, show it. Be honest with your character, with your religion. Don't be shy to say, my religion, we don't do this. Don't be accepted. Don't try to be accepted for lying about who you are. One of the things you need to do to sustain your honesty and sincerity is to avoid ignorant people as much as you can. You see, it is easier to make a good person better than to change a bad person to become a good person. You must know that. Your righteousness is like a rag in front of Allah. So you have to protect it. To make a good person better is much easier than to make a bad person good. Because the bad person has a bigger chance to change you to bad than you change them to good. So you have to be very careful. Guide your friendship. Guide your association. A man is not only identified by the group he belongs to. He's also identified by the group he doesn't belong to. You are not only identified, your integrity, your honesty, your value, who you are, is not only identified by the group you belong to. You are also identified by the group you don't belong to. Because that alone is enough to tell them the kind of value you have. Because your value will take you where you should go and where you should not go. Even your value will tell you which information you should consume, which you should not consume. Men and women are not the same, are they? Okay. But if you have a different value, you are going to run with it and destroy yourself. We are all powerful in a different way to complement each other. So we become. So, how do you apply this? So now I'm coming to we the adults. After today, one of the wise things for anyone to do, and I'm coming to the conclusion, is that there are 3 ways to learn wisdom in life. The first is by reflection. The information I've given today, you may have heard some, but not all will stay. Have time to reflect. That's the most noblest way you can learn wisdom. Have time to reflect. When you reflect, even every day, about what you do in a day, in the Global Leadership Academy in Himeji, Japan, one of the things they taught us was what we call traffic. It's called traffic. In the morning, before you move, you will write what things you want to change and what things you want to improve. When you close at the day, you have to go, before you go to bed, you have to write, how did you do? Oh, I didn't want to lie, but I noticed that I think I told 2 lies. No, they make you accountable for yourself, self-accountability. Oh, I didn't want to procrastinate, but I realized that I procrastinated today. Okay, so by the next morning, you are ticking your boxes. One of the other things they did was they paired you. If you're an African, we only have about 2 Africans that were nominated by the UN for that particular committee. They paired you with a non-African. And the person is your friend till the whole training is over. You sleep in the same room. If he's late, don't come. If you are late, he shouldn't come. That's it. Yes. So they call it your buddy. If you are going for any event and your buddy is late, both of you should be late. If you come, they will not allow you to enter. You stay at the entrance until your buddy comes. So now he is your responsibility. You are his responsibility. So if you look at this, you need to learn to reflect. The easiest thing to know how to change is to learn from people's mistakes. Don't wait for it to be your mistake before you learn. Watch how people have lived. What the examples I gave you. And sometimes you can even watch your own friends. When they lied, when they're dishonest, later on when you discovered it, you didn't even trust them again, right? So why do you want to be the one that goes through that? Then the last one, which is the bitterest, the most that people even want to do, is by experience. It shouldn't get there. But unfortunately, most of us learn from experience. When it happens to you, and you feel the pain, then you know that, yay, I didn't feel good at all. Even some people after this, they will still not change. May Allah not make us the ones who will learn from reflection. May He make us the ones who will learn from our imitation. May He make us learn, at least, even if we make a mistake, not to repeat it again. One of the things you know in life is that when you do something wrong for the first time, it's a wrong, it's not a mistake. If I'm with you and you don't know me well, and you do something against me, the first time is not a mistake, it's wrong. You didn't know. So it bemoans on me to be honest with you and tell you, what you did, I didn't like it because of this and this. But if I don't tell you and continue doing it, you are not making a mistake because you don't know. Because for you, that's the right thing you know how to do. But the moment I tell you, the next time you do it is not wrong, it's a mistake. The following one is not a mistake, it's disrespect, it's dishonest, it's insincere. I don't know if you get it. So the first time you do something, forgive yourself. but learn to make sure. I want you to know that whatever I've said is not difficult at all. And it's not too late. The capacity to change is a gift Allah gave you when He created you. The ability to change is a skill you can learn. And today's sermon is one of the places you can use to learn that. You can use to learn from other people who have actually changed. But the willingness to change is a choice. Muhammad Ali, one of the famous boxers, said, and I quote, "Champions aren't made in the gym. Champions, they are not made in the gym. Champions are made from something they have deep inside. A desire, a dream, a vision. They have to have the skills and the will, but the will must be stronger than the skill. They have to have the skill and the will, but the will must be stronger than the skill. If your will is not stronger, you can't even continue. Because when you start with the steam and it gets tough, if you are not willing, you will struggle. We know what Muhammad Ali does in the ring. He can be hit like a dozen times, but he doesn't give up. And at the end, you're the one who hit him, now you are tired. That is when he wins. So life can hit us every time, but anytime we make a mistake, let's rise up. Let's be willing to work to be better. If you make a mistake, be willing to be better. So ladies and gentlemen, please, you have a choice. So let's choose a choice and learn to be better. Honesty and sincerity is all about what Islam is. If you cannot be honest and you say Bismillah and you go and steal, then what is the meaning of your Bismillah? You are going to write exams, you recite Ayatul Kursi, you say Bismillah and you go and copy. Oh, come on. So ladies and gentlemen, may Allah help us to know better. And when we have picked something from this, may He give us the wisdom to practice. Because that's the most important thing. Because knowledge without practice is foolishness. So may we not be among the fools. May we be among the wise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I wish I can rewind the clock. That's the opportunity you people have. I don't have it anymore. None of my children is less than 6 years. My last one is now 10 years. How I wish I had this information when I was like you. That is the miss that I have. And that is my regret as I listened to my brother. But I was so much encouraged when he told me it's not too late. It's not too late. What it takes is to make the effort for the change. In Allah, Allah will never change the condition of the Muslims in Ghana until we make the effort to make the change. I was listening to him when he started hammering at us, the parents. And it was like, oh my God, my brother is saying what exactly prevails in my community. I'm coming from the La community. And even yesterday, when Tafsir was going on, some parents went and sat outside conversing. I know it prevails in our communities than anywhere. As if our imams don't matter. Between Maghrib and Isha, how many hours? An imam will sit here and he has researched, he has brought up something to feed us, and we say we are not hungry. We say we are not hungry, yet we show hunger. All our lives is hunger. All our lives. Allah says, Allah says, protect yourself, number one, and protect your family from the hellfire. That is what we have failed and we are failing. When he was saying it, he pleaded with us as parents that I'm going to say something that will not make all of you happy. But of course, we are talking about what? Sincerity. Kul haq wala wala nafsi. Prophet Muhammad. He said, say the truth, even the truth will come to hurt you. He said it. It hurt us. But I expect that as parents, we will live here as a takeaway to go and make amends in our ways. Madam, my brother, I'm so grateful to you for the good job that you have done. But I'll be more grateful if my imam will have reason to believe that the program that came here today has touched some lives. That is when I will be more grateful. Because I'm taking a package away. I'm taking a whole stuff away. And I'm going to make sure that it benefits me. And I'm starting it today. Assalamu alaikum.